Okay, we just saw Rob Zombie's new movie, Three from Hell. It's the third installment to the Devil's Rejects trilogy, I guess you could call it. It's only playing for 3 days, and we just saw the premiere night. Um, Fun fact, we had to wait an extra hour and a half before the movie started because they had projector issues. About half the theater cleared out, and people in Bend are assholes.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
People were very obnoxious and rude and like being dicks to the theater staff and like wanting free shit and being super entitled and like
Yeah.
it was pretty embarrassing.
Going and like getting refunds for their tickets and then coming back in and telling everybody else to do so. It was bad.
I mean, I can understand being upset, but at the same time, it's like whatever, you know.
Take advantage of the system.
They were giving out refunds. It's not like the theater were being assholes. Anyways, so that was fun. So we waited an extra hour and a half. Peter, why don't you?
I'm not going first on this one.
You're not going first.
No,
All right,
no
you want me? You want me to go first?
Yeah.
You know, I'm a Rob Zombie fan. I'm a solid Rob Zombie fan. I've seen all his movies. I enjoy all of his movies. I don't think he's like fucking incredible, but I don't think he's horrible either. And so yeah, was looking forward to this. I mean, this has like been anticipated for years, since 2004. And I'd have to say it's okay. It was fine. The first half is pretty strong. Like, I was digging it. It wasn't like phenomenal, but I was just like, alright, this is an enjoyable movie. And then it just cascades into a jumbled nothingness where I just didn't give a fuck and things are happening, and like there's even a point in the movie where a character says like, well, what do we do now? And he's like, well, I didn't think we'd get this far. And like, it's just, that's how I felt. It's just like, and yeah, overall it was fine. It felt obligatory. It felt fan servicey too. There were a lot of quotes and lines and callbacks from the first two, and it's like, I don't know, I didn't expect Rob Zombie to stoop to that, you know, to like, and they're not done well. There are a couple of them that are okay, but they're not done, yeah, they're not very clever, but yeah, all in all, it's just like, it's fine. It's one of Rob Zombie's weaker movies. Those are my general thoughts. Who wants to go second?
Alright, I guess I'll go second. I did not enjoy this movie very much. I wouldn't call myself a Rob Zombie fan. I controversially enjoyed the Halloween movies. I thought
I like them too.
He did those well. But after recently watching House of a Thousand Corpses, and I had watched Devil's Rejects a while back, I just feel like he's kept a very like standard, similar cinema style throughout each of these. This one was overloaded with like telephoto close-up face shots.
The close-ups were bad.
Nearly half of the movie was close-up,
way too close,
right on the face,
and
sorry, bad. And I respect what the movie's doing, but I feel like it would be better if it was just a straight-up like anti-hero, slasher.
It didn't feel like a horror movie at all. Yeah, I'd like to add that. It hit me about halfway through. I was like, this isn't horror. Like, some people might like that. I definitely was not enjoying that as much. It didn't have a horror vibe.
Yeah, and it just has these like, gruesome kills that are kind of
Not that gruesome. I mean, they used a lot of stupid editing. Like,
there was the most like gruesome one, like I personally think would be the very beginning when Otis peels off the lady's face and kind of leaves her alive. Like there's stuff there where Rob Zombie's going for like a shock
seen
factor.
it. I thought it was poorly shot. It wasn't very like, it was fine. It was just like,
there was a couple shots that were cool though. There's a shot where Baby lets go of an arrow and it's like aiming towards the camera and it's all slow motion. You can see the arrow like bend and wobble. So she actually shot a real bow and arrow. But yeah, just in general, I was not enjoying it. I don't really like the theme of, psycho killer, but also, sympathize because they're like family people and they have these intimate, like brother-sister moments.
I think the first one says something more about just like how it could be, a killer could be anyone, and how, I don't know, it's a little more nuanced to me in the second one. And the second one's also more on the victim's side. Like, it kind of shows everything from both sides in The Devil's Rejects. But this one is basically, it's just like, kind of definitely just like fully treating them like rock stars and doesn't really give a shit about any of the other characters.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like with that tone, it tries to make you think that, like, these are people that you're supposed to side with or sympathize with or something.
I mean, which to a degree I do enjoy them doing it, but again, like, because I like the performances and the characters, but I enjoy the more, like, thoughtful style of The Devil's Rejects that I see. But Matt, what do you think?
Well, I'd just say from the get-go, they kind of pick up from the last movie and a little bit of a kind of like, oh, and we're back, and we just kind of run you up to speed, and we're back with our main characters like nothing ever happened. And the whole movie kind of seemed like a mixture of different films I'd seen before, including like Natural Born Killers with their escape from everything. And then
there were some uninspired fucking scenes that I've seen before in movies a million times.
Some definite Dusk Till Dawn vibes there heading in the second half of the film. It just kind of seemed almost like a grindhouse version of what Rob Zombie has done before.
Yeah, but he used to be
done
better at it.
Definitely. But I mean, it's definitely appealing to the masses who are kind of going to the film more as like a novelty to Rob Zombie than actually trying to go and see a worthwhile film, which we saw evident in the character of the people that were attending this evening's.
And see,
the crowd did love it. They were clapping and laughing.
They did love it, and sometimes, I hate to, like, I don't know, like, police the audience or whatever, but, like, there were a couple times where I'm like, okay, guys, this isn't funny. I feel like this is supposed to be, like, a fucked up, like, scene that you're supposed to kind of, like, there was a scene when the guy, grabs the thing and
sometimes it was almost satirical,
sprinkles it on the table. Mm-hmm. And it was very creative and one of the only, like, genuinely horrifying scenes. And, like, everybody was laughing, and I really wasn't getting laughing vibes from that. But, whatever. That's just how things are. The audience was rowdy as shit. But I definitely don't, like, revel in their actions. I like to feel, like, appalled in a fun way, and not just, like, yeah, fuck yeah. I don't know.
Well, there's movies that you go to for a gross out factor like Saw, or you see satirical horror films like Evil Dead. And, it seems like they're trying to mix it a little bit more, and it's just the lines between genres is a little skewed, I think.
Yeah, they use humor to diffuse the, like, gore and horrific nature of what's on screen.
And see, I thought that kind of proves that I don't think the movie wants the audience to laugh so much at certain things. because it's trying to portray that as serious and then like
Yeah.
bring in a joke. Like it wants you to laugh at the punchline, some of which I enjoyed. But I think the audience might have thrown me off for this movie, especially. Like I was trying to enjoy it in a different way than most of the people around me, if that makes any sense. I don't know.
For sure.
What's something we really liked? Just something, pick it out of the bunch.
It was interesting to see a new character, even if they kind of pulled him out of the hat.
Okay.
Yeah.
You brought up a big criticism I have.
I mean, the effects for the gore was good. You know, like what it was trying to do with violence, it did. But yeah, that's pretty much the only good thing I have to say.
I guess I've just seen too many horror movies and I'm just desensitized. But I honestly there wasn't a single memorable gore scene for me. Like I think the most intense and memorable scene didn't even involve gore because it's so uniquely terrifying. So big problem I have. What is with the cock tease that is fucking not having Captain Spaulding in the movie and giving him
We get
a
one
minute
line.
of dialogue, less than that, where he's like, I am the motherfucking best part of this fucking movie and you just gonna kill me off. And then they kill him.
And see, with what they, with the news reporting afterwards, it was he said that, send love to his, family and whatnot. It's I was just okay, that's a fucking load of shit. He wouldn't say that. He's gonna come back, and he just fucking doesn't. And it's what the fuck? It's a total wasted opportunity. And I don't know about the background stuff.
He's the most iconic thing about the two movies.
When I
back just to kill him off again.
Yeah, when I heard Three from Hell, I was okay,
those
we got
fucking
Spaulding,
three.
Baby, and Otis, and they even have a scene where they comment us two, the two from Hell. It's what the fuck am I? It's just who the fuck are you? In general,
never
seriously,
who he is in any other movie.
It's because he's a actor who's been awesome in other Rob Zombie movies. So Rob Zombie randomly gave him this role.
And I mean,
And
it works because of the whole House of a Thousand. There was a fucking fuck ton of people in there, so he easily
But
could
still,
just be
I'm
oh
just
yeah, he was there.
You're not Captain Spaulding, and so I'm
Yeah,
suck it.
exactly. I wouldn't have minded so much them bringing him in if it wasn't a direct replacement. If Spaulding and this other guy were there, that's great. But they didn't
Four
do
from
that.
Hell, the third movie. I don't give a
kept
fuck.
expecting him to die.
3.5 from Hell.
3.5 from Hell. No, it turns out that guy's good. It's like the Hateful Eight, where Obi is the ninth one, and he's not hateful.
And I mean, I don't think Rob really went experimental enough, I guess, with this. A lot of the kills were very, standard. This person gets stabbed, this person gets shot. We're gonna, kill this person, throw a knife. Just simple stuff. It didn't really get, to the level of creative kills.
You're right, man. And here's an example of the lack of creativity. There's a part where one guy's he's probably with the bicycle girls, and when he said that, I thought, oh, that's funny. That's a clever thing. And he's they're the village bicycle. Everyone's had a ride. It's Jesus.
Thanks.
That joke's in our fucking DNA, okay? Everyone knows that joke. It was
I
clever.
just thought he said it because he was slow.
But it was still just for the audience and or the knife throwing scene. It's three people throwing a knife. I'm pretty far. I'm a little bit closer. What? You hit it? It's just there were a lot of scenes that are just really fucking uninspired and just
And yeah, that
That'd be a horrible knife for
they
a
did
throwing
an arc, and they did an arc with it where it's just oh yeah, we didn't need to have introduction scene to the fact that Baby could throw knives. Like, it should be fucking pretty much assumed that this chick has, like, you know, skills in, like, means of combat.
And
Because,
apparently archery.
you know, because this is the third fucking movie. Like, yeah, apparently she's a fucking, you know, incredible
What is
skilled
with
archer
that?
as
She's
well.
just like got a headdress on and is just like, I'm an archer now. Fucking
And there was
what?
so many like
what
shots
was
of her just
that?
following her.
I guarantee she just saw that
I
and was just like, "Yo, yeah, this is awesome. I'm gonna wear it on set."
I did enjoy her performance though, cause like I think she's finally like locked down the perfect balance. Cause in the first one, she's just like her high pitched annoyingness is like cranked up to like a billion.
It's bad, yeah.
And then in Devil's Rejects, it's to 11. it's just she
I was
cranks.
gonna say it's not good in
She
Devil's
cranks
Rejects.
it down to 11 in Devil's Rejects, and then this one she's got a good balance of just like
I'll agree with that. yeah.
still
She
like
kind of reminded me a little bit of Harley Quinn, though.
she'd be a great Harley Quinn. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah?
But at the same time, there were things that like her obsession with kitties and shit. Like,
Yeah, I don't really
kitty.
understand those scenes either. Like, yeah, there's just like this weird, like euphoric fucking experiences that she has that don't really get answered or talked about at all.
And it just kind of reminds me of visions from Halloween and
Yep,
stuff that
yep.
aren't explained.
I thought the same exact thing, dude. So, themes and meaning. Is this movie about anything, or is it an obligatory sequel to two pretty awesome early 2000s horror movies that maybe didn't deserve a third movie?
I don't think this is definitely the movie that did not need to get made. Like, they
Yeah, no.
die at the end of Devil's Rejects, and then like they're just like,
Oh,
oh,
they could-
never mind, tricked ya.
What this movie
No one thought they would
presupposes is maybe they didn't.
Yeah, question mark.
We brought them back to life, and now we're going to kill them again.
I really feel that because that's really when you boil it down, when it's a great movie, even if it's not about a deep meaning, even if the theme of the movie is believe in yourself. Fucking, I don't know. Like, a movie should be about something. And there's a point when I'm just watching them fight a Mexican cartel where I'm like, what is this movie about? Because I think Devil's Rejects is about something. I
You
think,
killed Tiny Trail in the first act, man. Now I'm pissed.
yeah. Anything from a technical perspective. Oh, I'd like to say the music is good. I thought the music was very like 80s synthy, like whoa, 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 whoa. Like,
It had a good soundtrack.
yeah, and it didn't go overboard with the needle drops. Like, it's not like, you know, I love Rob Zombie's choice in music, but sometimes he's definitely a little too like, these are all the classic rock songs I love, and he doesn't have like as diverse a palette. It's like everybody just listens to fucking Skynyrd and Foghat and
Right,
fucking
right.
shit like that. Theater presentation, yeah, it was a quick show.
After the hour 45-minute wait, of course.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
The anticipation
Fucking A.
was
So-
agonizing.
So yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed Bill Moseley. Yeah, Bill Moseley's a great actor. He played Otis. Bill Moseley's always great. He does a lot of shit horror movies. But you know, he's good and terrifying. It's just I don't think they have the same
Very
chemistry.
imposing in his tidy whities.
Like, I know, right? But this movie could have been so much better if it was made 10 years ago with
Yeah.
Captain Spaulding and wasn't like just trying to reference the old one and shit.
'Cause, yeah, I thought Otis had he gave a good performance, but his character's just like so one-dimensional.
He is. He's just like, I'm fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, like that, and that's it. And he just has
But in
like,
this one, he was a little bit softer.
yeah, but he still just has like that crazy nature and like, you know, one-liners to respond to people and while he's torturing somebody that traumatized them in some way.
Yeah, the first half of this movie, it's just like, is pretty good. Like, even you could even tell the audience. Our audience was rowdy as shit. They were quiet during the first half of the movie, and then eventually everyone just started talking.
Yeah,
And
it was
like
too
it
long.
stopped captivating people.
The
It was
movie
2
was
hours.
too fucking long.
Yeah.
Like, it needed to be cut way down.
And we just watched a
the
horrible
whole-
3-hour It movie, and this
Yeah.
one is still too long.
And seriously, like there's just like this whole build up to a fucking shootout with the Mexican cartel.
It
at
makes
the end
no
of it. It's
sense.
where the fuck is
I
this
think
coming
the
from?
first
It's like
hour
a
is all
review
you
of The Way of
need.
the Gun.
Like, if this was a film print, it's like, toss out reel 4, or no, actually, just keep the first 4 reels, and toss out the rest. Like,
Just let it end when like
I just kept getting deja vu to different movies and different scenes, especially that shootout at the end. It reminded me of the way of the gun with.
Yep.
I was just like all these iconic scenes. I'm like, I've seen this before. It's still good, but it's just like, okay, a little predictable. A little kind of.
it was definitely predictable.
it was just dull. It was like, things are happening, but it's
You
like,
boys like
yeah.
Mexico?
You boys like... And,
Some of the accents were pretty ridiculous in it too.
and they did the repeat thing where it's like, I don't get why this movie did the nostalgic throwback repeat thing that movies do. It's because they once again go to a brothel with a friendly, kooky guy, and then it's like he calls the people and betrays them.
Right.
And like, they're out.
Oh no, we suck again.
We suck again. I think the strength of the first part is it has a unique thread of Otis being on the loose and them like kidnapping the head, like the warden, and trying to get him to free baby. Like, that's interesting. That's unique. And so it was compelling. And it's like, they free her, and then it's like, what do? We kill. That's
Oh,
like,
Kill
starts to
everybody and
unravel from
leave,
there, yeah.
and let's go to Mexico.
Well, now where do we go?
Yeah.
So Matt, we've been kind of hogging the conversation. What do you wrap it up for us? Give us the final word.
This movie was, like you said, it's not something that needed to be made. The fans wanted it to be made, and that's basically what he gave to them. And that might be exactly what it was about, is just kind of spoon-feeding people what they expected. We get upset with people subverting our expectations, but when we get exactly what we expected, it's not too good either. So I don't know, I think with this overabundance of media and culture that we have, we might be getting desensitized to a lot of different types of films, and it's going to be a challenge for people to kind of reach out and find new material.
I agree. I mean, I always say, like, when it comes to, kind of fucked up movies like this, if the same everything could have been filmed 30 years ago, and I just enjoy it so much more. But there's something about just like, if something that's made and comes out today just needs to try harder. It can't just be exactly like those old movies I love. And Tarantino's a perfect example of like using the old style and making it fresh still. And like, Rob Zombie used to be better at that, and I think he kind of lost it, honestly. Hopefully not, though. Hopefully he gets an original idea and doesn't fucking cast his wife. I think this should be Sherry Moon Zombie's send-off performance. Like, it's been 6 movies in a row, bro. Like,
Do you think he made it like that maybe on purpose?
what do you mean?
Like, purposefully not to his best?
No. I don't think there's any sabotage. All right, Peter, final words?
if you like Rob Zombie movies and gore, you know, go see this movie. Other than that, I'd pass on it, honestly.
Yeah, and stop being such dicks, Ben. It's okay. The projector failed. Boo hoo. Fuck.
Let's get free shit. Woo!
Free shit!